Hello, and welcome back to the Friday Feels episode of the U Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana, but it is especially good to be here with our very special guest. He is celebrity hairstylist for the likes of Kim Kardashian, Jennifer Lopez, and Chrissy Teigen.
Chrissy Teigen? I've never done Chrissy Teigen.
Oh, no?
Oh, wow.
Okay, we take it back. We were lied to.
I'll take it. Let's keep rolling.
Take it.
The episode is canceled.
Just add names.
End it. Hang up the phone. We're done. What he does have is a new book that is out right now called Your Roots Don't Define You. Chris Appleton, thank you for coming on the U Up podcast. How are you? What's going on?
I'm great. Glad to be here. I've been watching you guys from afar, so I'm happy to be involved in the conversation.
We're happy to have you. What's going on today? We actually had a debate before we started.
Yes,
Okay?
We have a bet.
Going back and forth.
We want to know what you would charge as a celebrity hairstylist for a haircut today.
To someone like a celebrity or just regular, like a hair salon thing?
To us peasants.
To Jared and
To Jared, me and Jordana, we come into your place. We go, Chris, I want a haircut.
For man.
A man's haircut.
A woman's haircut. No blowout.
No blowout. What are you charging?
How much you got?
I got my Venmo. I got my credit card. So you're charging. We want to know, what is it?
Yes.
What's the rate?
For you guys, I won't charge anything.
Oh, wow. We got to go to LA.
Yeah, now I got to buy the book.
For someone else. For a random.
Random
Everyone
walks
loves
in.
that question. Everyone wants to know how much. I will say it's actually not so much like it's not you earn so much to do like a hairstyle or a haircut, but it's more kind of like, obviously when you get involved with brands and stuff, that's kind of as being an entrepreneur, that's where you kind of evolve, I think. And
right.
That's something I'm passionate about, just keeping it moving and keeping it interesting. But yeah, everyone's always fascinated about how much you charge. I've charged everything from, $100 back in the day to, it's good money.
Give us the top. Now he's embarrassed. Tell us the most you've ever charged. How about that?
Let me
What's
the most you've ever charged?
For a haircut.
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Right. I can't afford it. We
yes.
can't afford it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Chris, say it. Come on. We get personal here.
Like 100K.
100K?
What?
Yeah, but that was to travel and stuff. That was the whole situation.
For
So
Queen
all in,
Elizabeth?
To travel around the world. It was that sort of thing is a one-off. But don't forget then you get taxed 50%. Then your agent takes something. It gets dwindled down to.
That's true.
Listen, 100K for a haircut is wild. That's so you were basically brought on the road with someone, and they were like, "We'll give you 100K."
Listen, I gave you the answer to the number. We don't need to know the details.
Okay.
He's like,
I'm not asking who it was.
He's like, I thought this was a dating show.
Right.
I thought this was a dating show.
Well, I said 125 for a man. I didn't.
He said $125. That's crazy, right?
125K
For dollars.
Look, I said to you, I'd do it for free. It's not about the money
Yeah.
for me. It's not about the money. But
That's
look,
a no.
In flip to that, I've also had, you also do a lot of stuff for free. So it's like, editorial, they don't cover of Vogue, it's great, but it's not so you're getting paid the big bucks. You do it for doing the cover of Vogue. So honestly, it's kind of, it balances out.
As a comedian, I understand the idea of like all shows are not the same. All gigs are not the same. Some are for practice, some are for, clout, and some are for money. Some are a money play. I get that completely. So, all right, well, you have a new book out, and it's called Your Roots Don't Define You. What made you write a book? What's kind of like what's the premise here? What makes Chris Appleton say, people have to hear these words?
I mean, I think for me, it was probably the point in my life where I felt like people knew so much about me. So like I work with celebrities, life looks good. My social media looks relatively sort of polished. And I think I just wanted to scratch away that kind of image and show something that's a little bit more real, a little bit more authentic, and probably be more of who I am, my journey of how I've worked with like Mrs. Jones that would come in the salon every week for a blowout, but also, Jennifer Lopez or Kim Kardashian. I've also worked with cancer patients that lost their hair or models on runway. I've worked with every type of, woman. And universally, I noticed this pattern where I think looking good, feeling good is great, but it's really a lot of internal parts that need fixing. And like so many people have limitations on how they look, how they're perceived. And a lot of them are from like something that someone once said to them years ago, like, you're the shy one, or, you're the quiet one, or you're the chunky one. We carry these things around with us our whole lives, and it puts so many limitations. And a lot of people say to me, like, well, I want to look like J-Lo, but I don't look like J-Lo. And I was like, it's not about that. It's like, okay, you don't look like J-Lo, but this is how. And you break it down into how people can look and feel their best. And I think I just wanted to move it away from just being celebrity focused, and it's like, all right, but this is how you can have a piece of that too. This is how you can look and feel your best. So I think after 30 years of knowledge, I just wanted to put it into something like a handbook that people could have a part of and be in the conversation.
I mean, that's great. I do understand the idea. You go to like a stylist, especially a quote unquote celebrity stylist, that they go, this guy's going to change my life. Like, this guy's going to give me the haircut. Like, we even talked before you came on. We were like, we wanted to hear,
what we need.
Right, what we need.
Right.
And we were literally saying that, like, when you go to a stylist or you go to someone who's about to cut your hair and you say, what do you think? They always go, well, what do you want? They don't want to put words on it because they almost don't want to it seems like they don't want to get blamed for it. But also, like, you can't change someone's life. Like, what do you, that's a lot of responsibility.
Well, even if you're not a celebrity hairstylist, I feel like people probably go to their hairstylists and are like, they're showing a picture of a celebrity and they're saying, I want that, even if it doesn't make sense for them.
Right. And you're like, I'm not totally. A plastic surgeon. I think
that's the sign. I mean, if someone's saying to you, when I worked in the salon years back, I remember people would go up to people. Because when you're in a salon, listen, there's this whole concept in a chapter in the book, and that's what the reader will find, is that a lot of people don't look in the mirror and truly see themselves. So you look in the mirror maybe 10 or 15 times a day, but you just glance and you just see that face looking back at you, brushing your teeth, whatever, yeah.
And we move our bodies in ways to make it kinder. Like, I've never seen what I look like with my shirt off for real.
Oh, really? You're always positioned.
What I'll let myself see. Like, I'm not going to, do that before I leave the house to myself. Like, I'm gonna, zhuzh myself up,
Yeah, totally. Look and feel your best. But the point is, a lot of people don't actually stop and really look and say, like, is this who I am? Like, am I truly like aligned with how I look and how I feel on the inside? Is this where I wanted to be in my life? Because when you get alignment on the inside with like your external image, that's when like the superpower really comes into place. And I think I wanted to be able to create something that people can find that. Because like I say, a lot of people, they have hairstyles just because like when they're a kid, someone told them that's what they have. Like, you suit short hair, and they carry that their whole lives. Or, you can't be a blonde, your sister's a blonde. And I'd have clients in the salon and they'd sit in a chair, and the chair is like such a vulnerable place because it's the one time you actually stop and look in the mirror. And most people start with this like negative voice. I call it the hater. And they look in the mirror and they're like, God, is this lighting bad? Because I'm looking old, or like, it's just eyes smaller than the other. Like, you start ripping yourself apart. So for me, being in that situation, I'd always want to kind of break it down. And I'd see people come over to people and go, okay, what are we doing today? Same as usual? And they'd be like, oh, yeah. So it's the time in the chair is actually that one time that you are open to sort of opening up to change, and you want someone to actually see you and see like the possibilities.
Chris, you bring up something. This is a good segue into the topic of this show, which is dating, relationships. You have 2 children with a woman.
Yeah.
You identify as gay now.
Yeah.
That is literally what I would assume you had to do. Maybe I'm wrong, but like, this is how I've seen myself or been told I am. And now I have to make this massive change to like be the real me. You know, like, there are people out there listening right now that might be in relationships that they're not entirely happy with. They might be in situations that they're not entirely sure of. They might be in just, not sure that the life they're kind of the road they're walking is not representative of what they think they should be walking or where they want to go.
100%.
How, from your experience, having made a life change like that, how did you do that? And, what was that process and how hard was that? I'm sure very difficult.
Well, I think like that's a great example. I kind of lived my life the way I thought I should, the way society told me to, or the way people told me to live my life. And I thought I had it all tight. I thought I was good. I mean, I had 2 kids. I was great. But it wasn't until I truly stopped, because I made a whole career out of making people stop and look in the mirror and really see themselves. And that's really powerful. And I felt like that was my superpower. But the thing I realized is I never actually stopped and looked at myself. Like, I never actually stopped and looked at myself in the mirror and saw who I was. And like, the decisions I made, was that fully for me, or because I was trying to do what was like normal? And I think like when I was a kid, I was pretty bullied at school. because at the age of 13, I had a job in a hair salon. So guys back then, they if you did hair, like that meant you were gay. And it was weird that I was 13 and I had a job. Kids found that weird. So it was just like, oh, you're gay. And he weren't saying it in a nice way, he was saying it in a negative way. So I was kind of like, well, I'm not that. And it was before I'd even kind of got into sexuality. I hadn't even thought much about it. But I was like, well, I definitely don't want to be that. So I think I kind of just got very focused on, proving everyone that I wasn't. So focused that I never even gave myself a chance to evolve that conversation. And it wasn't until, look, life is always going to come, you're always going to come back to yourself. If you don't want to look in the mirror, one day something will happen and you have to see yourself. And that was kind of that moment. I was like 27 and it was really hard because then I'd also created a life, which I was really happy in. I loved it. Mine and Kate's relationship broke down, but we're still best friends to this day. It broke down, but there was still a lot of love and respect there. But, we were breaking up and then going into new experiences. I didn't really understand it because I was like, wait, I've never felt this my whole life. And now I've kind of put my foot into it. I keep like going back to it. I couldn't kind of like just get back to being normal and being straight. All of a sudden I was like, I don't know. It felt at the time like a disease. It felt like, how can I get rid of this? Like if I could have cut it out of me, I would have. But that's the journey. And it's about, I think, really kind of going back. And I had to really go back to like, how did it start? How did I even get to this place of like being so unaware of my sexuality or even being able to explore it? And it was all fear-based. It was all fear-based. It was all shame-based. And a lot of people carry that their whole lives. So I hope what people will find in this book is ways to help them really see themselves. And it doesn't have to mean sexuality, but it can mean financial decisions you make. It can be relationships or marriages. It could be your friend groups or even the job you choose, or just simply the haircut you've always had. And you're like, why have I always had this hair? Why don't I don't even, why do I have brown bob? Like I've always wanted long blonde hair. Like, it changes everything. It's not just an internal, external sort of way you look. It's really internal. That's why you have to do a lot of the work. So it's like a fun kind of playbook into how to get to that.
So when someone sits down like in the chair with you, like what is your method for getting them to see themselves? What should my hairstylist be asking me?
I'll come behind you and I put my hand. No, it's a process. I remember people in the salon
feeling out of you.
If your hairdresser says to you, what are we doing today? Same as usual. You should get up and leave because that's literally just. I have a chapter in the book, and it's all about saying the word fine. Like I hate the word fine. It's such a facade. It's not real. It's just like this excuse. Like you probably feel terrible, but you say, oh, I'm fine. Or someone does something bad, and you're like, oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's just this kind of like, don't look at me. Don't deal with it. So I used to always try and sit down, and I always sit down with my clients, whoever it is, and I want to know like about them. I want to know what like their aspirations are. Like, okay, this is where you're at, but what have you always dreamt about? Like, who's your hair icon? Who's your idol? And people would say to me all the time, like, oh, this person, but I know I can't do that. I know I can't go blonde, and I'd be like, why not? And they'll be like, well, because I just know I can't. And I'm like, but who put that limitation on you? Like, like for you, you got short hair. I could say like, have you ever had long hair? No, like I don't, not got long hair. It doesn't suit me. Like, have you ever tried it? Yeah, well, no. Like, is anyone's hair? You're like, well, Johnny Depp, I like his hair. And it's like kind of a conversation of breaking down like why people have these beliefs. And a lot of the time, they don't even know.
I guess I'd be worried that my hair would get too poofy before it would actually come down to shoulder length.
It would.
But have you ever tried it?
But then I'd be the guy with poofy hair. I don't know if I could work through that if I have the strength.
But then there's things called like keratin treatments that like chill it out and give you that nice kind of flow wave.
Right. I guess my answer would be that I don't have the community around me to
support.
Go. It's the support.
We just
know
became
about
friends.
the keratin.
We just became friends.
I can text you.
You have the community now.
Now I have it.
Who's your hair idol?
Hair idol. Oh my God. There's a lot. Who would I go?
Who's doing it right?
Well, Chris is doing a great job with his hair right now. He's got a great flow.
Yeah, I was going to say, you must.
That's the flow. Yeah, I could never go with that.
It looks effortless, like Disney Prince.
Look, you're doing it now. Yeah. Why could you never do that?
Well, I remember when I was 13, I tried to go for everyone in my age, around my age. And Chris, you're around my age too. Everyone was doing the Jonathan Taylor Thomas, the butt cut.
Oh, you're 30.
You're 32.
I'm 40.
Oh, don't put us in the same grade. I'm 32.
You're 30.
No, it said you were
42 in
42.
front of us. We have
was like-
whose
I was
notes
like,
are
wow.
these? Chrissy Teigen?
I was like, wow, he looks great.
I was going to say, I was like, man, we look great. I guess I look like shit.
Yeah.
I know I am 42. I am 42.
You are?
you
Oh,
are.
God. Oh, my God. I just freaked out just now. V, our producer, almost jumped out the window.
She was just fired and then rehired. I can't believe what you just did.
dead.
Do you remember the Jonathan Taylor Thomas look? The Zachary Ty Bryan butt cut?
Yeah.
That was the part down the middle. That was the one everyone looked for.
That was the vibe.
That was the vibe. And now it's coming back. And I can't
Absolutely.
do that
Always
as a
comes back
40-year-old
around.
man. I'm not going to walk around with a middle part and star stickers on my face like I'm a Gen Z dude. I can't. I got to look my age appropriate.
I think you could do the flow. I think it'd be good. You can keep it tight on
Really?
the side still. You could have a little length on the top. You could carry it to
How
the
long
ends
do I
out
got
to
to
make
grow
it
this
chill.
thing out? What do I got to do?
You just need a nice haircut. Grow it out. Be an easy process.
Aren't there people who come to you and you're like, that actually wouldn't look good on you? That looks good on that person, but it wouldn't?
Oh yeah, totally.
How would you encourage people whose friends are single that come to them and like ask them for advice? I mean, this is a great exercise. Like you have to look someone in the eye and go, no, not for you. Not going to happen. How do you do that as a friend?
Oh, I think it's just an honest conversation. I think it's just like, okay, well so that length bob won't necessarily suit you because you've got a round face shape. But you could go like here as a lob and that would be good. And you need a few more layers. It's just about like adjusting it so it suits your face. It's all about face shape, eye color, but also personality type. If you have like an extreme personality, you don't necessarily need to follow like what's right for your eye color and your skin tone because you kind of can make the trend your own. But so I call it like there's like a whisper client, a talk client, and a scream. Whisper is someone that like just has a trim every 6 weeks, doesn't want to follow up with trends. You've got your talk client, which is more like a Jennifer Aniston. She stays up with the trends, but it's not crazy extreme. She goes a bit lighter, a bit darker. But then you've got your scream client, which is someone, I don't know, like Lady Gaga. It's not necessarily about her eye color or skin tone. She will make a statement with that look. So you don't always have to follow the rules, but you need to know them so you can break them. And that's what the book gives you, is also like a breakdown of like, who are you? Like, what is your personality type? What is your eye color? What is your skin tone? And this is the right thing that works for you, but you can also adapt that depending on personality type, because really it's just all about expressing yourself and how you want to portray yourself to the world,
Right. So when it comes to
You're like, right.
No, I think that's I think that I would call myself the whisper person who's just like, make it healthy so that
just
I don't
a
have
little
to think about it. But that's not really optimizing.
But I do think it's good advice for like people advising friends. I think that's like one of those things like,
how much
your
help
audience,
do you want?
right? Like there's
Yes.
someone that's like telling you, I don't want to go date. And it's like, okay, well, you're not going to force them on 300 dates. Like
Totally.
they're going to get to one date. You got to get them to the doorstep of a date. That's not someone you're going to get, downloading the app and swiping all day long.
So many people the first time happened. Every time I meet someone, I was like, "Oh my god, don't look at my hair," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm not." Like it's not. It's like with the dating things. Like, "Oh my god, don't judge me on my dating." And you're like, "Oh, I'm
Right.
actually not." Like
No one gives a shit.
Not at work,
Right.
Yeah, but if someone asked about it, then yeah, sure.
So I do want to ask about your personal life. So you were married, you had 2 kids. I mean, you have older kids. Like they're like, you got married pretty young.
Oh, I've only been married once. So me and Kate were together when I was 19. I had kids when I was 19.
Really? So kids at 19, I mean, were you freaking out? I mean, like, I'm freaking out at 40 if I ever like have a scare.
I loved it. I mean, I met Kate, who's the mother of my kids, and we just had a great connection. And like, we have like an unconditional love. I mean, it's been however many, I mean, what has it been? 23, nearly 24 years. And it's still,
Right.
we still speak every day. There's still a level of respect that's always going to be there. We spent Christmas together, New Year's Eve together with the kids.
Well, what was it like for her? I think when you was part of the breakup because of you coming to terms with your sexuality?
We had already sort of started to break up. The relationship broke down.
Okay.
And that then coincided. My job was kind of changing. I was traveling a lot. And, like I was single. So I was kind of like, well, dating. And I remember one night we were at an event and there was some gay guys there, but there was girls there. I remember like I was, talking to this girl at the time. And in the night, this guy tried to kiss me. And I remember thinking, oh, that was just drunk. I was like, whatever, it's fine. But then we became friends. And then we were speaking. He didn't even live in the same country, but we spoke every day. It was the first time I kind of had like a gay friend, which felt like normalized, that we were just having conversation and there was nothing, it wasn't sexual, it was just a conversation. And it was like, okay, I like this person. And I think once I kind of put in my foot in the door of kind of like exploring it, is when I was like, well, maybe there's something more here. Like, I really like this person. But then I was like, oh, no. What am I doing? Like, I think I'm just, when you go for a breakup and you're kind of like, we call it the revenge haircut. You do things you don't normally do. And I was like, oh, I think I'm just, experimenting. But I think once I put my foot in the door of exploration in that area, I was like, it kept coming back. And I was like, wait, why? Everyone was like, well, you must have always known. And I was like, I didn't. I wasn't hooking up with guys. I wasn't watching gay porn. I wasn't thinking of guys. I genuinely was so happy in my relationship until I was out of it. And I kind of, I guess I was searching for the next thing. But and then I had to realize, and it took a long time to realize, it was a moment back when I was like, 11 or 12, where I was so bullied and so like, it was so bad to be gay. Then I was like, before I'd even thought about it, I was like, well, I definitely don't want to be that. And I'm not going to be that. I'm going to be, straight, and I'm normal. I'm normal. Everyone wants to be normal. Your brain's very powerful when you put your mind to something. I just completely blocked it out. But then you have to break that down of like when that happened, how it happened. And again, there's lots of mine was about sexuality, but there's lots of moments in the book. People end up in marriages they don't want to be in. They end up in, jobs they don't like, financial decisions, alcohol, drugs. And it usually stems from something in the past. So it kind of goes back in that.
You sound like you were a pretty private person. Like you were living kind of this like very normal life with 2 kids, and you have a girlfriend, and you guys share the kids, and you're having this happy life. And then that breaks up, and then you start discovering your sexuality, but then you get married on a TV show. Like, when you do that, how difficult does the relationship become, like, because of that? Like, people are checking in on you. Like, the audience, everyone just is like aware. You go from this like private, what's that like? Like, what was the hard part there?
I mean, I think it was pretty surreal. And I think when something personal plays out publicly, people like are always going to add their own stories to it. But I think what I've learned is that the narrative that actually matters is the one that you live and not what people project. And I think maybe being more in the public eye is open to conversation, and I understand that. But I've never really had a problem with social media, and people say to me, like, how do you deal with different people commenting or having opinions on your life or the work you do or the clients you work with? And I don't know, I think it's healthy to an extent. I mean, you'll always see some extreme stuff where you're like, wow, that person must be really unhappy. I was on social media the other day and I saw someone write something up on a celebrity's page, and they were like, I hope you get cancer. And I was like, oh my God, this is really sad that we live in the world where people want it. But I usually just kind of think, well, that person's pretty sad. But otherwise, I think a healthy conversation, I think it's okay. I think you know what you're doing, you sign yourself up to. And that's kind of just the world we live in.
Now, when that relationship ended, now you're out there dating again. How do you date? Like,
yeah, how do you date?
Well, I think that dating is a very interesting thing. I think it's a fun place to be. I think I changed a lot with all my relationships I've been in, and I've learned something. So I've always tried to learn from it and evolve and move on and not kind of go back to that. But, you learn that things are really important to you, like honesty, communication,
Well, how do you date though? Like how do
you meet people?
Oh, probably most people. I have a lot of DMs on Instagram.
Number one,
but like Raya.
Yeah. Are you dating anyone now?
I'm just a little bit more selective. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm single. I've been single for like 2 years. Through choice.
Sounds like you're hooking up with someone, but you can't really say it's not more than that. So you kind of
Jared plays this game all the time.
I've played this game many times before.
I think I've had my fun, but I've changed the way I date now. I think in writing the book, it was really healing because I realized some of the patterns that I had, which were like thinking I could help fix people. Like I do that as a job. It's really great as a job. You help people look and feel their best. But I kind of realized that in past situations, past relationships, even past friendships, like I would overextend myself into like thinking love is enough and that people can, want to be their best version of themselves and I can help them do that. It's not actually my job to help anyone. You're only really responsible for yourself. So I think once you kind of figure out that, I kind of, instead of maybe going into something as fast, I'm now more sort of, I guess I just take my time and I know who I am now. I know who I am aligned. And I think, like I say, for a long time, I didn't really see myself. I didn't really kind of put myself first. And I think once you do, and you know your boundaries and you know what's important to you, you're more selective, because it's a small pool of people that, being in a relationship is tough. It takes a lot of, give and take.
I got to say at 40, I'm sorry to interrupt, but like at 42, I'm 40 and you're speaking a lot of my language as far as like, I think at 40 especially, you start to, your dating intentions are way more careful. Is that kind of interpreting you correctly? Like you
100%.
are 2 steps forward, 5 steps backwards to like before you trust someone or bring someone into your life. Is that kind of where you're at?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just not really interested now in intensity. I'm more interested in stability. I think that's really important to me. I think passion is great, but I think peace is essential. So I think I've just changed like the way I go about it and the things that are in my life. Because I have a great life. I have 2 beautiful kids. I'm so happy.
That means you get in front of things. You have it feels like when you say that peace is important, that is you saying, here's the deal before we move any forward. Is that kind of true?
I just think I have a great life. I'm really grateful to be where I'm at. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful I get to share it. So anyone that's going to come into my life, like if it's not going to add to it, then I don't need it. I can have my fun, but I don't necessarily need to, get into a relationship with it. I don't know. I think I'm more selective. But I think honestly, I talk about the book, I keep going back to it, but they're the things that when you realize, like, you kind of come allergic to the crap. You come allergic to like the things that are not good for you. It's like an alcoholic. It's like once you've done the 12 steps, you might get tempted to have a drink. You still get tempted to be attracted to the things you used to be attracted to. But you're like, I know one drink will lead into I'm just not going to go there. You know what I mean? So you still get attracted to those things. I think, oh, they're cute. We could just, but then I'm like, yeah, but actually, are we aligned? Are we in this? I look at it differently. Whereas before I just roll with it.
Right, because that's like, someone would call that jaded, someone would call that experienced.
Well, I mean, it's like when you buy a house. You buy a house, your first house when you're young, you're like, I love this. I'm going to live here forever. It's amazing. It's a house. But then you realize you're like, wow, this house gets no light and it's always dark. So that you get a little bit more selective next time you get a house. You're like, I want a house, but I want a house with big windows and I want to see light. Or, and it's just kind of, you refine your search every time because you learn. If you're not learning, what are you doing? Like, I don't want to make the statement twice. I try and learn from it. I like to know why we do the things we do. I find it really fascinating, and especially in dating, because I always did it in my profession. I was great at it, but in my personal life, because I kind of wasn't aligned with myself, I didn't. So once I found that alignment, it was really powerful, because you just, like I say, you become allergic to the stuff that doesn't suit you or work for you in your life, and it's powerful.
How does it work? How does like being a dad work into dating? Does that make it easier or harder, or doesn't matter?
I think my kids think it's hysterical. I mean, I have such a good relationship with them. They're 21 and 23. But I'll be like, Kate, what are you into this person? And she's like, no, Dad, that's not right for you. Or, they have an opinion on it. Billy, my son, is just like, whatever. Just he's in university land, living his best life. But we have really open conversation and dialect. But obviously, I'm never going to introduce them to someone that's,
right,
something casual or whatever. I think that would be, but it's also like we know what we've got, and I love that we can be so honest and open. I think it's really healthy.
Yeah,
and they're protective of. I think they're protective of me for sure.
And I'm sure dating with kids who are older, it's not like you're signing up. You're looking for like a bonus parent for them. Like they're not. That probably takes that out of the equation. It's not like they're even teenagers, right?
No, they're 21 and 23. I mean, they've got their own lives.
But it's got to be tough to hear their opinion. Like, I mean, it's got to like hit you a little hard because they know. Like you even said, your daughter's like, that's not good for you. And you're like,
She's playing the hairstylist to you in your dating life. Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. I think it's fun. I mean, I don't know. I love that I have that. I guess being a younger dad, hopefully that's like one of the positive things about it as well, that we can be
Right.
can be relatable and keep it open and honest. And I think they've learned from some of my mistakes, which is good.
Well, we're gonna have you be the dad to our audience right now. We're gonna do some advice, an advice question. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, let's go for
We
it.
want everyone to go buy Chris Appleton's book. It's called Your Roots Don't Define You. It is out right now. The link to purchase it is in the bio of this episode, wherever you're listening or watching. You want me to read the email?
Sure.
Okay. J&J, 26-year-old gay man living in New York City, originally from a small town in Ohio. I've been here for about 4 years, and dating has been fun and definitely different from small town life.
Okay.
Didn't think I would, but last year I met someone, and from the moment we met, we were inseparable. I'm now dating my current partner for 11 months. He's about 12 years older than me, and this is the happiest and most secure relationship I've ever had. We communicate well, recently moved in together, and I feel really confident about us. Early on, he asked if I'd be open to an open relationship. The agreement was full emotional commitment to each other, but freedom to have sex with others under clear rules. No sleepovers, no hookups in our shared home, and no emotional connection. After a lot of conversations and some hesitation on my end, since I can be a bit jealous, talking openly about what we like and what turns us on made it feel right to try. It's actually been fun and freeing and hasn't affected our relationship until recently. I've been hooking up with one guy, let's call him B, and I'm realizing I'm starting to have feelings for him, which clearly crosses the boundaries my partner and I have set.
Okay.
The other night, I slept over B's apartment, and it wasn't something I needed to tell my partner because he's out of town. The feelings are exciting, but also scary because my partner means everything to me. I know I should probably end things with B, but I don't know how to talk to my partner about this without hurting what we have. We're also supposed to go on a 1-year anniversary trip to Tokyo in a couple of weeks, and the timing feels awful. The trip matters far less than protecting this relationship. How do I handle this honestly? Do I say something now, wait until after the trip, or am I already in too deep? Help, I really don't want to mess this up. Open but overwhelmed. What do you think, Chris Appleton?
Wow. I feel like I know this person. It's like that was an in-depth question.
Full details. Everything's
Yes,
here.
I got all
yeah.
of it.
No, I love it. I mean, obviously they're in touch with how they feel and they can communicate that really well. I think my advice would be to communicate it to your partner. I mean, I've been in situations and relationships in the past where I've been in an open relationship. I just didn't know about it. So, I mean,
Okay.
open relationships are not for me. I'm, that's not something that I'm into, but each to their own. But I think it's all just down to conversation and communication. I think the one thing about communication or, being in an open relationship is how important the communication is. My advice would just to be, I'm just a pretty honest person. I say what I see. I think it's really healthy to respect boundaries. And I think if you truly love your partner, you should be able to sit down and have a conversation with them and explore what that means and what the next steps are. I think avoiding it, to me, it just puts a barrier between, it's just going to put a barrier between you because you know that you've got something you're not really truly telling them. They don't know. I think it just puts something between you and slowly that builds. And I think sometimes that's the beginning of the end, because even if you're not conscious you're doing it, you're kind of separating. Whereas I think if you truly love your partner and you want to be with them, you should sit down and be honest with them and have an open conversation. I think that's
Right.
really healthy. So I would say face it, do it before the trip, get it out. And maybe that trip will then be the beginning of something else, but at least you'll do it with a clear conscience and you'll feel good about the decision you're making.
You're totally right. The lies create more lies. Like this one will create the next one. And honestly, it's
To
not like
me,
they did
that's the
anything
beginning
wrong.
of the end.
Like, right. But based on their rules aren't really fair. The rules are crazy. No sleepovers, no hookups in our shared home. Okay, that's easy. No emotional
Right.
connections.
How do you
Like,
control for that?
Right. That's
Yeah.
like a crazy thing to put rules on. Like, I think the rule needs to change to talking to your partner when an emotional connection may be developing. Like, that's a better rule. I would
100%.
want to renegotiate the
Right.
rules with them just to make sure they
Or-
could actually be attainable.
That is the risk of that's like saying you can drink, you can have one drink at the bar, but you can't have two. And it's like, maybe you're having fun and you say, I don't know, like inevitably, if you're sleeping or hooking up with someone and you like someone, like that could happen. But I think you just got to be honest about it and
Right.
come back to just having a conversation. And if you guys are in the playground, then, you got to talk about it. You got to play, and talk and be honest about it. Because otherwise, I think it just eats people up. And to me, I think it's like the beginning of the end. But like I say, each to their own. I think you also have to decide if is this are you getting something from this other person that you're not your partner? And
Yeah.
what is that?
I
And
think
have a
that's key.
conversation with them about that. But that's why I would never be in an open relationship, because when I'm with I mean, look, when I'm single, I can sleep with who I want. But whenever I'm in a relationship, I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to have it between the two of you. And it's, for me, that's just the way I feel. But I know for some people it's different and they can have that. But for me, I'm a very kind of connected person. So to then hook up with other people, it's kind of maybe natural to sometimes maybe like that person, want to see them again. It's kind of human nature to an extent. That's why I think it should just be an honest conversation.
Right. I think some people are better at separating sex and emotion than other people.
Totally. 100%.
I think that, yeah. And it's very hard, when I don't know if they had that conversation when they were talking about the open relationship, is like, what is your relationship to sex? Do you even enjoy sex to someone that you're not emotionally connected to? I personally don't. So I do think that it's, like you said, all about the communication. And also what you said kind of at the beginning of the end, just in terms of things don't happen completely isolated. So like if you're feeling more connected to one person, I'm assuming something about the connection to your original partner is either different or lacking or less strong or something like that. And I think that's the thing to explore. Is that something you can come back from? Are you having like a little bit of a rut?
Well, also, he's already kind of set the stage for this being like a very easy, not easy, but like a rational conversation, because he was uncomfortable with it going in. Like, he knew this could happen. He didn't feel like it fit his feelings and how he relates to sex. So now you go to this conversation. I don't think this ends the trip to Tokyo, is my point. Like, I think like,
No.
I don't think it's over. I think that's his fear, is like, it'll ruin this best relationship I've ever had for this other, these other feelings that are just come out of nowhere because my partner wanted to try this other lifestyle. I think if he goes to his partner who he shares this connection with and says, yeah, I feel like I'm losing control of this. This is something you wanted. I'm doing this for you. Now I'm caught up in it.
Right.
That's the
100%.
conversation to have. And I think he has a right to have that. Like, it won't be met with anger, I don't think, is my point.
People change over time. Like, although they set those rules then, like, over time, people change. Relationships are complex. People are messy. And I think the only way to move forward is together. And if you're leaving that person behind, you're just imbalanced. It's not going to work. So I think, like, the best thing is just honesty, and if you can't have an honest conversation, that's also a problem. Like, if you can't actually be honest and sit down with, and feel like you can have a conversation about it, it's also an issue, so I think it's okay that things change. And, like I say, people always bring baggage into a relationship. There's always some sort of complexity, but I think to be able to like sit and talk about it will just make you stronger and move on better and stronger, for sure.
How did you find out you were in an open relationship without your knowledge?
Oh God! In many situations, it's just my past dating history. You live and experience many different things. How did I find out? Like I said, I just didn't know about it until I did.
That's how things happen.
Got the memo late.
I was like, okay. No one told me. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Everyone go buy Chris Appleton's book. It is called Your Roots Don't Define You. The link is in the bio of this episode. He's holding it up on
Out
YouTube.
now.
Out right now.
He's blonde on the cover.
Guys, do you think I look better as a blonde or a brunette? Everyone's always telling me to go back blonde, but I feel like I like my brunette hair. What do you guys think?
I'm more into brunettes, personally.
I think the flow you got going on
I'm
now
a brunette.
is the move.
Woman.
I think
We're
it's
into
more
the
of the
flow.
time.
Yeah.
And then, guys,
It
what do
ages
you
you
think?
down.
The viewers at home, do I get my hands on you and give you a flow? Maybe we do.
Listen.
Yeah.
If you can make this Jufro
I need
into
more
a
help
beautiful
than you.
swan. Yeah.
I need help. Yes.
You guys are actually. What about you? Okay, we'll do both of you. That's cool.
Yes.
Amazing.
We've not
Send
even
me
got
all the
started
tips.
on you. We've not. He's had a full consultation. We've got an appointment. What the hell?
You took the whole.
I'm sorry. I got I'm here with an
I
expert.
haven't
I'm not
even.
gonna
No one's
sit
asked
here.
me who my hair idol is.
Who's your hair idol?
Blake Lively has great hair.
Blake Lively.
I don't know if
Could
it's
you give
real.
her a Blake
is it real?
Lively?
I don't know.
She has amazing hair. Yeah, it's her hair. She looks great. She's blonde though.
I don't know if the long blonde hair would work for me, but
Oh, look, you see, we're exploring. We've planted.
see,
the
look, we're
seed.
doing it right now.
There it is.
Yeah.
Planted the seed. This is where I go, well, why do you believe that? Why do you think it would suit you? Well, someone just told me I couldn't. It's just a conversation.
I
and
love
that's
it.
what, honestly, going to the hair salon should be like. So even if anything, it will teach you to, when you go to the salon, what to expect, like what you should be leaving with and, the possibilities. And honestly, it's never too late to make a comeback. It's never too late. A lot of people over the age of 30 are like, I'm too old. It's too late. I'm stuck in this marriage. I'm stuck in this job. I'm stuck with this hairstyle. It's never too late to make you come back. Listen, if Kris Jenner's anything to go by, it's never too late. Like, look
It's
at her.
never
She's
too
got
late.
this amazing face. She's changing her hair up and she's having fun doing it, you know? She's not
Love
trying
it.
to delete her past. Also, she is fully open with it. And I think living authentically like that is great.
Chris,
Yeah, that's
this
why
is
people
why
love them.
This is why they pay you the big bucks.
Right.
'Cause I feel inspired to. Next time you see me, when I come back from maternity leave, I'm gonna have a long blonde hair.
Blake live. I'll be like, Blake.
Blake.
Chris Appleton, thank you for
Yeah.
solving dating with us. We did it again, Jordana.
We
Thank
did it.
you.
All right, we'll be
Thanks
back
so
next
much
week.
for having me.
Boom. Thank you.
Thank you.